Hello everyone and welcome to the program Midday Discourse on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Hope you all had an amazing weekend, though this past weekend was filled with lots of elections and lots of reactions from Nigerians and state governments and even Nigerians in diaspora. We're just reacting to, how election played out in some parts of Nigeria, even the one that concluded in Edo, where a whole lot of persons are still having mixed reaction about the way the election went and all. Talking about River State, where some political parties had to pull out, and then just a whole lot going on in the political scene here in Nigeria, and we are going to be extraying, what grassroots polls and the takes of our democracy really is. Do people still have the power to decide who is going to rule them? That's one of the angles that we're going to be looking at, or we're just being ruled decisively by whoever is in office. So we are going to have that conversation. But before we get into all of that, let me bring you up to speed with what's actually happening in River State. The River State People's Democratic Party and the All Progressive Congress function has rejected the conduct and outcome of the local government election, stating that no election was held in the state on Saturday. The Rivers State PDP members loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Wike, described the poll as an exercise in futility, vowing to challenge it in court. The Wike camp says this as the River State Governor Sim Larry Fubara sworn in the newly elected council members of 23 local government areas of the state. The exercise was held on Sunday as the executive council members of the government house in Port Harcourt, the state capital, hours after the chairman were issued certificate of return by the chairman of the River State Independent Electoral Commission, Adopolis. The whole council and then the Saturday council election was about men and the exploitation of guns, and was won by the Action People's Party, which secured 22 out of 23 chairmanship positions, while the Action Alliance candidate won 1 seat. The APP also won 314 out of 319 councillorship seats in the 23 local government areas of the state. The exercise was complicated by the ongoing struggle between Fubara and his predecessor, Winston Wike. After losing control of the PDP to Wike, Fubara's supporters switched to APP, securing their chairmanship position in their local government areas. After the election, winners were sworn in, and the state publicity secretary of PDP, Kenneth, says the party will challenge the conduct of the polls in the court. We are pressing further through the court to ensure that justice is done and see to have been done. So we do not agree, nor do we recognize if any swearing in is taking place. So that's what the PDP secretary was saying. He still went further to say that from the beginning, the ruling party in the state has insisted on the Federal High Court judgments and bearing the conduct of the council polls, pointing out that the state government did was illegal. So we are going to be looking at all of this conversation if what actually played out in River State that Saturday was illegal, or if it's actually within the confines of the law. So I'll be introducing my guests, but we'll be going on a quick break, and then when we come back, I'll introduce my guests and who would help us x-ray all of these angles of the conversation. Do stay with us. We'll be right back. Yes, many thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining, this is Midday Discourse on Global Television, and you're right on time because we're about to dive in straight into the conversation. We're looking at grassroots polls and a test of Nigerians' democracy. However, with me live in the studio, who is going to help us x-ray this conversation, the person of Abdullahi Mohammed, who is a public affairs analyst. Good afternoon, Abdullahi.
Good afternoon.
Yes, so thank you so much for joining. So now, let's get into it. Looking at what has been playing out, you know, from Bauchi State election, those states, you know, even Ondo that is coming up, and then, you know, if just this past weekend now we had like 4 states where they had conducted elections, right? So now, let's just major. We are going to focus more on what's happening on the local, on the grassroots level, right? But now, let's just the most recent, which is River State, where we've had back and forth between a political godfather and a political godson. So they've been having their back and forth, one saying someone signed something and it's not living up to what he signed, you know, and he's trying to be the big dog in the room while there are people that brought you to the room first. But having that conversation, what's your reaction to, you know, APP sweeping 22 polls in River State?
Well, if you look at...
we've not been hearing about APP in a while now. So, you know, APP and now, and then, okay, 22 swept by APP, and then 1 by Action Alliance. That's 23. What's your reaction to those polls?
Well, what happened in River State, I wouldn't even say it's one of the best elections I've seen, but I will tell you that it's the best election I've seen since I was born. So what happened was that if you look at it, there were a lot of issues in the PDP.
Yes.
And, you know, the PDP and APC were saying election should not hold. Why should election not hold? It is something that all the states have been doing. And a lot of states have done theirs, like Bauchi, Edo, and the rest. So why will River State not hold election? Why is it that everything in Nigeria is going well? When it comes to that of River State, there will be a problem. River State is not an exception for carrying out a democratic process.
Okay.
So River State should carry out a democratic process in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And when you look at Section 84 of the Electoral Act, it says no court can stop election.
Okay.
And what Rivers did was legal. It was an act of democracy, and it was done.
What can you say what can you say to, before you still get back to your conversation, but what can you say is, you know, the court ordered the police to stay away, right?
Yes.
So what's your reaction to that? Isn't that like a civil responsibility? It's not part of the job of the police to, you know, safeguard the lives and properties of citizens when they come out to exercise their rights?
Yes. It is, you know, in Nigeria, we don't used to have election without the security personnel, because we know all those disruptions happen during election. You see where hoodlums will come and snatch the ballot box and go. But in River State, the governor have seen that there's a compromise between the police and some other people there in the federal level. So he now saw it, that this is what is going to happen because police are compromising. Because when you look at it, even the election that was held in River State, I saw the video myself, channels recorded it, where police came to some polling units and they disrupted and carried away ballot boxes. So these are people we are talking of, it is part of a public responsibility for them to safeguard the lives and property of people, and these are same people coming to disrupt election. You know, it's not something. I'm not criticizing. It's something that was,
it was alleged that it was the police.
Yes, and I saw a video where the police were holding the ballot boxes. So that was why they said, okay, police should not even come. They will do it themselves. And in that cause, people had election peacefully. There was no fight and all. So for a state like River State, you know how rugged and how dogged the people of River State are.
Is an oil producing state?
Yes, number one. And for them to even have their election without policemen, it's something that you should give credit, a very big credit to the governor. You can see all over Nigeria, people are eulogizing the governor that he has done he has broken record. He's the governor, let's say the first governor that have done election without even policemen. So you can imagine. So that means people knows what they want for themselves. If they are allowed, then they know the impact of being careful. They know the impact of staying peaceful. They know the impact of peaceful coexistence. So that means, you know, the people knows what they want, and they had it in a very peaceful way, and they got their results.
Okay, looking at talking about getting results now and all. PDP now and, you know, APC.
Yeah.
At some point they pulled out.
Yes.
And then a day before the election, the All Progressive Party members, you know, via their X handle, encouraged supporters of PDP to still go and cast their, you know, their votes, not minding what is going on. But with that being said, do you think it's okay for them to say that they want to go to court and challenge and then calling the acts that happened as something illegal?
It is very okay for them to say. It is very okay for them to say they want to go to court because it is not against human rights.
Okay.
Yes. Because that is even the normal distance when a lot of the PDP members in Rivers at that time, they told some people now go to court. I can remember during the 2023 presidential election when Yesom was the governor of Rivers State. I remember the time he has issues with the PDP, particularly the presidential
candidate at the time, yes.
Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. I can remember when he came during a function, when he was mocking the PDP members. He said they went for the distance. He said he was watching them on the distance on television protesting. He said, what do I do that? All we are saying, all that he was even making them yes. They have turned to labor union, they have turned to student union, and Luther continua. So, but what you need to understand is that what goes around turns around. And I don't see any distance. And when you look at it, the election that was held in Rivers,
yes,
it's in conjunction with the rule of law. There is no anything that is illegal there. It was legal, free and fair.
Let's talk about the party, and let's move away from the election. Yeah. Let's talk about the party PDP.
Yeah.
You know, Dino Malaye, you know, says that the party PDP is, you know, their house is on fire. Let me use that word.
Yeah.
On fire. And then when Somike came out at some point, you know, before this election and said there is no governor in the PDP that has the powers to say that he's not a bona fide member of the party. Let's backtrack to 2023, you know, when the tussle happened between Somike and, just like you mentioned, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president of our beloved country, Nigeria. Yeah. So, looking at this back and forth that have happened between these two political giants, and not putting Dino Malaye aside, despite the fact that the party now is kind of punishing him. But do you think the party PDP now do you think they are all in the same page?
They are not in the same page. It's obvious. Why? There's no one that will tell you that the PDP is on the same page. Because it was so clear that there are people that had party activities. Just like the former governor of Rivers State.
Yes.
Honorable Minister of FCT, Yesom Wike. You saw how clearly he didn't work for his party, he worked for Tinubu, and currently he's a cyber minister under the Tinubu's So you can't say you're still in the AP. That's why people have tagged him to be PDAPC. I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah, of course I've heard that.
So PDAPC, so that means his leg is not in one distance. So you can't tell me that now Tinubu is his boss.
Yes.
Let's just be realistic. Tinubu is his boss.
As the president of the country,
if Tinubu should tell him stay here, and his party members tell him come here, who do you think is going to respect? Who do you think is going to respect?
That's a good.
Yes. So he's going to respect his boss.
Tinubu
is his boss, whatsoever. Even tomorrow, the thing is that.
Yes.
The thing is that it's so clear. During the 2023 election, he said it.
Yeah.
He said he's not going to support them. and he did not. And he delivered Rivers for
who? For who he wanted to support.
For who he wanted to support.
Yeah.
And it's clearly that's an anti-party activity.
Yes, that's obviously clearly an anti-party activity. Then that brings me to this point now. Fubara is a bona fide PDP governor,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And then there's been a tussle between the minister, that is Nyesom Wike, and the governor of who is the man in Rivers State.
Yeah.
Under the watch of Sim Fubara, APP swept 22 local governments.
Yes.
Action Alliance got one of the seats.
Yes, of course.
Can this also be classified as an anti-party activity, given the fact that you're a governor and they're looking at other states, like in an APC state, APC local government chairmen are sweeping, the polls, just like in Benue State, they are sweeping. In Bauchi, where we have a governor from the PDP, the same thing happened. All local government chairmen were from the People's Democratic Party. So now, can we classify what Fubara just did now as an anti-party activity? And would, the party hold him responsible for that?
I can tell you categorically that what Fubara did is not an anti-party activity.
Okay.
I'm not in support of him, but I'm just trying to be very, very realistic with you.
Yes.
Why I said it's not an anti-party activity is because Governor Siminalayi Fubara showed is a true Democrat.
Okay.
He's an hero of democracy. He is a PDP governor. In fact, he is even the vice chairman of the PDP Governors Forum.
Yes.
What happened was that, ideally, if it was like a greedy politician, if his party said, no, we're not going to participate in this election, in fact, the governor of the state, there's a way he will even scatter it and everything, but he maintained the court order. He said, election must hold, whether his party said no. Because the problem is that the party, there are a lot of people that are with Nyesom Wike. And the thing is that he can't force all of them to be with him. He can't force all of them. But the problem is that this is Nigeria. Rivers State is bigger than all of them are Rivers State. Rivers State is one of the biggest states in the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yes.
And all the Nigerian states are going to have their election. So why is it that when it comes to Rivers State,
it's always a tussle?
Yes. So Fubara maintained a court order, and he shows a true Democrat. He enhanced a free and fair election, which personally I give him a very big kudos for that credibility. He shows credibility, and he shows he can work with anybody, irrespective of party. We can't always be compromising with party. We need results. We need efficiency in the working force for the people. You need to serve people, and that's why he reiterated to them that he told the chairman that they must be servant leaders. So, in fact, even them, I'm sure they are going to develop law for the president, for the governor, because of what he did. He shows as a very, very authentic person when it comes to the concept of democracy of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Okay,
looking at those angles now, right? You said, okay, this can be classified as, an anti-party activity.
Yes.
And, okay, let's say the back and forth of trying to know who the man is between Fubara. Do you think all of this happened? Like, do you think people decamped, because we've not seen reports that people decamped from PDP to other parties before these elections? Do you think Fubara was trying to prove a point that Rivers State is his state and he is the governor? That's why we are saying, parties that people don't really mention, okay, if it were a Labour Party now that swept those polls now, a lot of people might not be surprised, given the fact of what happened during the presidential election and the kind of, candidates that, people are rooting for. Or maybe if the APC itself maybe, get to sweep most of these seats in the local government area. Do you think Fubara is trying to prove a point and trying to say, okay, I'm no longer trying to say, okay, I'm under an umbrella of a godfather. I'm trying to pull out and create my own foothold so that as when I want to run for office again in 2027, I would have trusted loyalists who would be able to support me. Do you think that's the reason why he, made sure that the election went this way and then went to these two parties?
If I should tell you yes, then it has counter what I told you, that what Fubara did was not an anti-party activity. Okay. And I still stand on it. Fubara was allowed a free and fair election, and it came on like that.
Yes.
APP, he has never been in APP. So people came out for chairmanship and they voted them. So they won the election. So
we'll just take it just like the way that a bike man came out as a House of Reps member in Kaduna State as under the umbrella of Labour Party.
That's what I told you. That's what I told you. I told you that for what he did, for him acting as a true Democrat, those APP members will develop passion for him. I'm very sure. I'm very sure. And they can give him all the necessary support he wants.
Okay. Before we get into the next conversation, like
even showing yourself as a true Democrat is also in line with you forming a structure, because people will be amazed, and people that are amazed will come to you definitely.
Do you think we're enjoying the dividends of democracy in the grassroots level?
Not yet.
We'll be going on a quick break, and when we return back, Midday Discourse continues. Yes, many thanks for staying with us. We just had to go on that very quick break. But before we went on the break, you said that not yet, that we are not totally enjoying the dividends of democracy in the grassroots level. Looking at what's happening with local government elections and all, because a lot of people are like raising eyebrows to the fact that why is it that a governor from APC, PDP, Labour Party, AC, whatever party it is, a governor leading a state, ruling a state, always tends to have same members of his party at the grassroots level? Does it mean that maybe, what's it called now? The people now from those grassroots, that's from those localities, from those communities, were able to decide on their own and decide to vote okay, since our governor is from PDP, APC, whatever party, we have to vote for this person. Or do you think that there's an influence that is being carried out between, this governors and then the electoral body in the states that make them, have party members or party loyalists?
Yeah, there might be some compromise, while some, the leadership has effect. There are some governors that are performing governance. So, you don't tend to just carry away that effect from them. So, but the scenario is that any governor wants to have his own structure covered, so that maybe when it comes to re-election, when it comes to when he wants to impose someone, it's I think clearly everyone will like that, but the problem is that I think we need to practice democracy effectively. There are some places that we don't need to use that extra force. So extra force have been used in some places. So, but if you want to enjoy the dividends of democracy, you need to allow a free and fair election. I don't think that has been tested. Maybe if that will be tested in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, then that's when we'll see, okay, whether if it will be a mix or the PDP or APC will sweep all the posts. Now you can't give that certainty. Okay. But what's happened in Rivers State, I think, is an example of free and fair election. So look at them now. They are grassroots people.
Yes.
Grassroots people.
And the election and power starts from the grassroots.
Yes.
Okay. Let's look at environmental consent and development for this local government chairman. Local government autonomy has been given by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which a whole lot of persons welcomed. But it's still being said that the governors have an influence in, this autonomy still, given the fact that, okay, when the money comes directly from the federal account, straight to the local government, a whole lot of persons are saying the governors have authority before those monies will be put into infrastructural development. What's your reactions to, statements like that? Does the local government truly have its local government autonomy?
Well, if I was a governor, I could have testified to you more clearly. And,
but we're working towards you being the governor, aren't we?
But the thing is that I believe the local government autonomy is going to work. But it's just a starting process. Okay. Maybe in about a year or two, we will not see to it whether it's working fully well. But anything about the state, I know that the governor should be aware. Because you don't expect the local government chairman to just get credited without the governor not knowing, okay, there's that. Definitely, there might be some talks with the governor. The governor will be aware that this is how. But the thing is that what we should be considered here, what we need to look at is that, is the money going to the local government account or it's coming to the state account, then the state will now transfer it to the local government. So the most important thing here is that, according to the judgment, the money for local government will not come to the state. It will go to the local government account directly. So that means the governor is not going to be a signatory to that money. So that is the main thing we should look at. So I don't know if the judgment is working or it's working. So I feel, and the thing is that the governors also should allow it to be very transparent. So, but I believe if that's what the law says, and all the governors have accepted that. So I believe, let's see from now to, since it's just like a new baby in town. So
an infant. Let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes, like from 2025. But I believe if they are law-abiding citizens, this is how it's supposed to be.
Okay, looking at, the grassroots is actually where everything starts from. And then we have a whole lot of, looking at our schools in the grassroots, school, healthcare, everything, welfare and all of that. So what initiatives do you think will be implemented by this chairman that just assumed office to improve education, healthcare, and security, majorly security at the local level, given the fact that they now have local government autonomy?
Yeah, the problem of insecurity, there was a time I sat down, so I was now thinking. I said, sometimes why we have these bogus issues is that we have too much negligence. A place where lives and properties are, you should put security in place. There are places that I can as well tell you that there are no security. It's only when something happens that you see, because it's an open space. So these are the kind of things we need to put in place. We should be alert. Okay, we should be on alert that these are the kind of things that would happen. So we should have those measures. We should have those measures to tackle all those. And what the local governments are to do, the local government chairmen are to do is that, they know the problem of the people. Just like now, things are very, very
expensive.
Things are very, very hard. What people need to do is to prioritize the needs of the people, and also not just prioritizing the needs of the people. They should look at those permanent solutions, not temporary solutions.
That is long-term?
Yes, they should look at long-term solution. Because now you can't come and be sharing. What is common nowadays? Sharing relief items, food, all these things.
Most times they share this when people don't even have a place to lay their head. So how do you expect them to cook?
Exactly.
That's
you give them rice, you give them semovita, you give them maize. So how are they going to cook it? They don't even have, some don't even have groundnut oil. Some don't even have the pot to do it. So what they need to do, they should be a very, very, what they need to do, instead of sharing those, I believe in, if you can even give a token, a reasonable token, go open a business.
Set up SMEs for this. Yes, have a skill acquisition training for.
And when you set up all those things, you tend to even have some people that will come and even benefit. So some people might have that as a source of their living.
Yes.
So you need to empower people with something sustainable, considering the way the country is. Not only sharing palliative. When you give me rice now, in 1 week it's
finished, yeah.
Because you have a lot of people around you. Not only you'll be taking it. So those are the kind of things they should look. They should prioritize education. We should not compromise education. Yeah, education, healthcare. These are one of the key things people should prioritize in the grassroots level. Like the chairman, newly elected, they should look at the level of the healthcare.
Yes.
They should look at education. They should look at infrastructure. Then security.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, these 4 things, when you tackle them very well, honestly, to give you a very good credit, everyone will see you as someone that is viable enough as a leader. Because leadership is all about you need to come and understand what's happening, what are the problems. Dialogue with your people.
So how do you the local government now engage with citizens and encourage them to participate more in governance? Looking at the various challenges majorly that have struck the northeast area, for the past decade now, there's been either one challenge is either Boko Haram in Borno State, it's either we witnessed banditry, kidnapping on Abuja Kaduna Expressway, and let's not even get started with Zamfara and Katsina. These people have been hit the most. Okay, we haven't talking about insecurity. Then now natural disaster now came with its own challenges. So how can despite all these turmoils and back and forth, promises, how can this local government chairman now get involved and then talk to these people to participate in governance?
Yeah, I can tell you that there is no person coming out for election that does not have followers, and anyone that comes out for chairman, clearly I know it should be someone that understands the grassroots. If you want to engage with people, there are people that even go when they want to do. The problem is that we only know how to get something, but when we get it, we don't know how to proffer solution, which is not good. When people are going for campaigns, you will hear people having door-to-door campaign, lungu. They know all the
news and credit. Just like what happened in Lagos State, where Sanwo-Olu was literally a phone repairer, a hairstylist, he was literally everything.
Yeah, everything. So they know this thing. They know this and how to dialogue with people. In fact, I know you can't get everybody, but at least there are some certain locations whereby you can dialogue with. Maybe you can go to a very big market. You can go to schools, you can go to healthcare centers, you can go to universities, you can go to college of education. That's how you get people. That's how you get. In fact, you can even target a youthful population areas. These are places that you get youthful population. The schools, the colleges, the universities. You go there, you get this, you dialogue with them. You should, the different leadership forms you are going to adapt. If you are truly a leader, there is the democratic leadership style. You apply the transformational leadership. There are places whereby you will be the person to champion more decisions. There are places whereby you need to bring in a democratic way where people will engage.
Yes.
You understand? So you can't just be a leader that you just do what you want to do, or you just be controlled by people.
How do you think these guys now, that is the chairman now, would be able to, focus more and, try to curb out? Corruption has eaten so deep.
Very.
And now it's more like them having more monies, and a whole lot of things will be expected. But how do you think corruption now can be managed at the grassroots level?
What I think is that the people should be very, very proactive. If it is, if it has come to a stage that the masses should even disgrace their leader, they should.
Are you sure we are not at that pace now?
I get it, because the eye is now clearing bit by bit.
Yes.
So if it is once you give someone your mandate, then monitor the situation. If that person is actually serving you guys well, then you give him thumbs up. But if that person is not doing it, then you need to safeguard your property. You need to that person you gave your mandate, your trust, and everything. You need to also watch out. You should not compromise. Let this one not give you money and no. One of the important things is that when you are getting into a leadership space,
yes,
you should try and make people that will tell you the truth closer to you. But those are the kind of things we are neglecting. And let me tell you something. If you don't have a good advisor, there is no way you are going to make a good leader. Because you need to listen from them. Also, anything you want to do, you need to tell them first.
Yeah.
If it is a good thing, they say yes, you do. If it is a bad thing, they say yes, you do. So you need to have good advisors.
Okay.
So those are the kind of things that people should react deeply if, the leader should not do well for them in the community. So they should find a way to throw him out, find a way to disgrace him, put allegations, file petitions, all those things.
Yes.
And it should be a working system. Let the judiciary not be compromised.
Okay, let the judiciary not be compromised.
Yes.
Let's look at this other angle now of the governors now.
Yeah.
It's just like the president having ministers, and he has said he is going to review, and then a few ministers might lose their job. Now, in the local government angle now, what is it called now? The governor is more like the leader of the pack in the state. So how key is it going to be for the governor to make sure that the local government chairman, given the fact that they are literally almost from the same party, some loyalists to the governor, but they are not still under the same party, right? So how key is it going to be that the governor follows through and ensures that transparency and accountability keeps on going well from the grassroots level all the way to the state and then federal?
Well, if a governor is ready to do that, it's very simple for him because he's the chief security officer of the state.
Yes.
He owns, it's a boss of the state. So any report, anything that is going on in the state, he knows. So the thing is that is the readiness, willingness to do all those things.
Okay.
All these things we're mentioning, we all know how to do it. Every leader knows how to do it. But the problem is that how ready are you to serve the people? So
you think the problem Nigeria have now is implementation?
Yes. It's implementation. All the laws, all these policies they are saying, they are already in place. These people they are saying they know better than us. In fact, they know how to do it. Even though it seems hard, maybe they know one or two shortcuts for sustainability of the people. So they know it if they put in readiness to do all these things. How many minutes? You are a governor, you should know everything that is happening to the state. The local government, you can even mandate a local government chairman to send you a report on weekly basis or on a monthly basis, so that you look at it, what's going on. Maybe the report now, you can put the report on, okay, let's say 4 segments or 5 segments.
Yes.
You can put on education, health, let's say insecurity, infrastructure, and also agriculture.
Yes.
Give me a report on that. What was the progress? Or you can even mandate them, okay, I know you people have some projects to do, but these are the key sectors you need to
focus more on.
Look at that. We are bringing in ideas, putting it there in place. So we just pray that when we get there also, we should try to implement what we are saying.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, that's how they were talking. And they got there, they didn't do anything like that. So, by the special grace, that's what I'm telling you. Leadership is all about willingness. It's all about readiness to serve the people. And by the special grace of God, if they are ready, things will go well.
Okay. Before, as we wrap up, because we're beginning to run short of time, but let's talk about economic development and balance.
Sure.
Because we've been stating for the past few minutes that we've been on this program, it's about the local government and grassroots development. Everything basically starts from that level. So how key is it going to be the local government chairman now balance economic development and environmental concerns? In terms of, the challenges that we're just witnessing now, and then it's been projected because a whole lot of farmers couldn't even go to farm because of insecurity, right? And then now, natural disaster, the little food that was even, cultivated, the farmers couldn't even go harvest. So how key is it going to be now for a balance, you know, when they see something, like, you know, they just have to, like, you know, say something and then act on it?
It is very, very important to do something, because, you know, the problem is that we have a lot of negligence. These people that are chairmen, they are people from grassroots.
Okay.
So, and everybody belongs to a local government, whatsoever the position you are occupying in the federal, whether the president or everyone comes from the local government.
Yes.
But there is a lot of ignorance, I can tell you. A lot of ignorance. We feel, oh, this is a local government, this thing. Oh, we can say, this is a federal road, let's just leave it. We don't have to do that. As a local government chairman, there are some things that you need to show impact. Not only the local government, there are some things that you need to... In fact, there are ways you can maybe bring about collaboration. You can do stuff that, okay, you attract investors to come. You can say, okay, we'll give you this thing. Then what you need to do for us, you have to, like, make this road for us. These are things that they need to
negotiation
do.
power.
Yes.
Yes.
There are a lot of strategies you can look. See, there is no area in this Federal Republic that is not blessed.
Yes.
There is a way you attract investors. There are a lot of... So I think what is happening again is exposure is one problem we're facing.
Yes.
Exposure. Because sometimes in the local government level, you see that most people that are there, they are
not really
local people.
Yes, they're not really educated and they're not well exposed.
So we need that exposure. Exposure is key.
Okay.
So I think with the level of... Because exposure is not something you can buy from the market.
True.
You have it, you have it. No one can take it from you. So I think exposure is one thing. We need more exposure. We need more eye-opening in the local government, because those are the pillars of democracy.
Yes.
So we need to be, and that's why I told you, the governor also should pay attention to local government, bit by bit. You should make sure before you leave, there are certain development. At least they should have 60 to 70% of development during your tenure in each local government. So that will yield economic development,
and balance,
and they will be balanced. So all this thing, we don't checkmate it, that's why. So, but if we checkmate it, I believe it's going to be a working process.
Okay, as this new elected governor, I said local government chairman, tend to assume office, we hope to see that they play the role, and then the fact that local government autonomy has been given, we hope to see a whole lot of infrastructural development, you know, education, and, you know, balance round the clock within the local government area. And we're hoping that, you know, the state governors as well will be able to, you know, watch and then follow through with what's happening at the local government areas. If you've served your turn in office, give room for another person to serve his turn, and not just stay and feel you're like the alpha male of whichever state you find yourself in. My name is Samuel Odi, and Abdullahi, thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Midday Discourse. I'll see you again tomorrow as we x-ray other angles of topical conversations in Nigeria. Bye for now.